Back in the 80s, so many incredible game series were born. Of course, we had The Godfather, Super Mario Bros., Metroid, as well as Kirby. All of these series have gone through a myriad of changes throughout the years, but there is one that has gone through the greatest set of changes and has innovated itself throughout the years, always staying fresh and original, and has become one of my favorite game series of all time because of that. But what is this legendary game series? Why, it's The Legend of Zelda, a series which has gone through so many different stories and worlds which have all become so iconic. So without further ado, let's get into why The Legend of Zelda is so legendary. Well, where do we even start? What is the first thing that every player would be able to experience, even if they have started with the first Zelda game? Well, it has to be the gameplay, which has evolved so much throughout the series, but each of the games have had some consistency in how the gameplay works, with the sole exception of Breath of the Wild. It's simple. You move with the D-pad and attack with the B button. What more do you need? Well, simply put, you need the iconic items which change the way you explore the world, which I always find cool in Zelda games. It gives them a very Metroidvania-esque feeling. Plus, some games have awesome ideas for combat. Twilight Princess has the hidden scrolls which allow Link to learn different techniques that can be used to defeat enemies, with some being required in order to defeat some enemies. Breath of the Wild expanded combat by adding variety from hammers to spears and swords to boomerangs. Breath of the Wild added all of these different weapons in order for the player to use them in different kinds of scenarios for both inside and outside of combat. Tears of the Kingdom expanded this even more by adding Fuse, which allows the player to add different kinds of weapons in order to add different effects. You can add a mushroom to make things bouncy, and add a bomb flower and things explode. This allows players to change the type of weapon they are wielding into whatever they want. You can get a blunt weapon and change it to a slashing weapon. You can get a stabbing weapon and turn it into a bashing weapon. You can get a shield and turn it into a hammer or slashing weapon. The possibilities are endless, which is one of the many reasons I love Tears of the Kingdom. Now, with any good game, it requires a good story. So what is the driving force behind every adventure which leads the player to go on these grand journeys? Well, who do they follow throughout all of these journeys no matter what game? We follow the hero Link. While he doesn't always look the same nor acts the same, one thing is consistent: he is the hero of legend. He's probably the oldest silent RPG character, as throughout most of his games, he is supposed to be a surrogate for the player to insert themselves into and say that he's just like me for real. With him wielding his trusty blade, the Master Sword. Oh boy, is this blade awesome. This is without a doubt my favorite video game blade of all time. It is just so freaking cool. And they made it even cooler in Breath of the Wild. What started off in Ocarina of Time with its first 3D design as a silver blade with a deep blue hilt grew and evolved into a sword with a diamond blade and a blue hilt to store the first companion of the hero. While as mentioned before, the sword has had a variety of different colors and looks throughout the years, going from a silver blade with a dark purple hilt to evoke royalty and fantasy, to my favorite design where it's a diamond blade with a deep blue hilt. It is easily the most recognizable sword in the Zelda series, probably in gaming in general, with the sole exception of the Super Mushroom, of course. Now, of course, while we follow Link through most of the games as the protagonist, he is not the only iconic character from the Zelda series, but who else is there? You may not be wondering. Well, first of all, we have the titular character herself, Zelda. However, Zelda in the early games didn't really have much of a personality other than damsel in distress. In Ocarina of Time, she disguised herself as Sheik, helped guide Link throughout the game with different songs, which was the first time she had more of a personality than just as damsel in distress, as more of a mysterious and curious character. In The Wind Waker, she was disguised as Tetra for the first half of the game, where she has some major influence on the events of the story, actively helping Link find his sister by both launching him into the Forsaken Fortress on the first run, which went well. And the second time, she actively let him steal from the pirates because she wanted him to get the bombs required to open up Jaboon's cave, so he was able to raise the Tower of the Gods from the sea, which allowed him to get the Master Sword from the sunken Hyrule Castle so he could save his sister, But after the second whiff at facing G-Money, Tetra is revealed to be Zelda and loses her cool pirate persona, and isn't seen till the end of the game. In Breath of the Wild, she was made a failure to the Legend of Zelda, and gave her more of an interest in the technology of the world. She's cute. I like the Zelda, especially her design in Tears of the Kingdom. Short-haired Zelda is top tier. But what is light without dark? And whoo boy, the dark in this game is cool! Extremely cool. Ganondorf. He is one of the most awesome video games villains to ever exist. A combination of brains and bronze, which is shown throughout several points in the series. In the first game he was introduced, he already tricked both the King of Hyrule by showing false fealty, and the hero of Hyrule by tricking Zelda into convincing Link into opening up the Sacred Realm so he could claim the Triforce of Power. He kidnaps little girls with pointed ears in the Wind Waker in order to prevent Link from finding Zelda first, as well as so he can claim the Triforce of Wisdom and get one step closer to his master plan. He is such a great villain with incredible motives, which flesh out his character beyond just evil monster like Bowser. Now of course, Link has to go through trials and tribulations in order to face Ganon and earn the Triforce's courage, which is a lovely transition to the dungeons and items. God, does Zelda have so many great dungeons, from the Forsaken Fortress to the Sand Ship to even Hyrule Castle. In almost every game, except Zelda 2, there is a great dungeon which brings joy to anyone's face when they have to conquer that dungeon a second time round. But what is a dungeon without a guardian protecting it? Because whoo boy, does this series have a lot of amazing bosses. We had the giant bird from Wind Waker whose name I forgot. There's the giant skeleton from the Arbiter's Ground, and how could I forget Koloktos? This automaton is an amazing boss, just so satisfying to rip his arms off, break him down piece by piece. I love this boss. It feels a primal urge within me. Now, what is a hero without his companion? And the companions in many of the Zelda games can bring so many incredible emotional arcs. There are some of the first and most basic ones, such as Navi, Tattle, and Celia, all fairy companions to which you all say goodbye to by the end of your journey. Some of these goodbyes leading to a depressing search which resulted in Link needing to save another world. Then there is the more heartful companions such as King Daphnis, aka the King of Red Lions, and Ezlo, both people who used to be of high power but are now assisting Link in his journey to saving Hyrule. And then there are the best ones, Midna and Fi. Both of them have incredible arcs. Midna starts off as very rude and annoying companion to Link, commanding him around like a, well, dog, with her caring nothing for Link and just wanting to achieve her own goal, only caring about Link dying because it would make her job a lot harder. Meanwhile, Fi is very dull. She is stone-faced and very robotic in her manner of speaking, using statistics and probabilities to determine things instead of feelings, which makes sense. She's an android who was built to assist the hero, but over time, both of them eventually grow a lot warmer and kinder towards Link, with Midna sacrificing herself to Link in order to save him from Zan, and Fi becoming a lot more human with her mannerisms. But at the end of the story, both of them are grateful for the time they have spent with Link, with Midna shedding a tear when she has to say goodbye to Link, and shattering the Mirror of Twilight permanently, severing the bridge between the Light Realm and the Twilight Realm. Meanwhile, Fi is actively sad about the fact that she has to fade away along with Demise and says goodbye to Link, but both of them are still happy about the fact that they were able to meet Link and spend time with them, with both their goodbyes being enough to make a grown man cry. All of these reasons was why The Legend of Zelda is so great, and why I love this series so much. It inspired me to create a world of my own, and to be creative. It made me want to post things on YouTube and inspired myself and so many others to create fan animations, games, ROM hacks, and even mods for Minecraft. The games have received so many cool mods themselves, which adds DLC-sized additions to the game to breathe the life into a series so many of us love. I can't wait for the Ocarina of Time remake when it comes out this year, as I play this game which has revolutionized the gaming sphere and introduced so many people to this amazing series one more time.